Well, this is Chris Bigger, Superintendent of Schools in Chambersburg School District. This podcast is designed to support the One Trojan Community movement, a quest for all of our schools to be schools of distinction by 2030. And the podcast is an educational exchange of key people to talk about strategies and ideas to accelerate our path forward to the schools of distinction. And today I have a guest of Amber Myers, who's been with Chambersburg School District for quite a while. So welcome, Amber. So tell us about yourself in Chambersburg and what you currently do and what you've done in the past.
So this is my 25th year in Chambersburg, 30th year of teaching. But when I first came over, I taught 4th grade at Grandview. I also taught 3rd grade at Letterkenny, which Letterkenny was a long time ago.
Wow.
And then we had a role that was an instructional support teacher, so I had that role as well. And then after that, we had instructional coaches for math and ELA.
Yep.
So I was a coach for probably 10 to 11 years, something like that. And now I'm an intervention specialist at Stevens.
Okay. How long have you been at Stevens?
This is my 4th year at Stevens.
4th year at Stevens. Good. So quite a few roles over the time. Do you have a favorite?
Actually, I like each of them probably. If I were to go back in the classroom, 3rd grade was my favorite.
3rd grade?
I did like 3rd grade.
Did you teach all the subjects in 3rd grade?
I did.
Okay.
I taught all of them. Yep.
We don't do that now. It's separated.
Now there's departmentalization. Yeah.
So K to 2 is all the same, and then it splits up in 3rd grade.
Yes.
And that's typically all the schools. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Some schools will do it in 2nd, but mostly it's 3rd through 5th. Yeah.
Well, you've focused a lot of your work in my time knowing you, and also recent in math. I know you were moving into reading just because we had to, but so we're going to talk about math today. So really talk about what's changed in math and what has not changed in math over the last decade.
So I would say what has changed drastically is the expectations. The expectations for content and the expectations for students as far as explaining their work and strategies that they use. So right now, kids are learning fractions in 1st grade, the basics of fractions in 1st grade, where years ago, when we were in elementary school, fractions were probably not introduced until about 4th grade.
Okay.
So now it's not huge, but in 1st grade, they're introduced to the basics.
Like what would that look like in 1st grade?
So it's more so like halves.
Rulers.
Yeah, well, I would say more pizzas and sharing. Sharing in 1st grade is more so fractions.
Gotcha.
The other thing are the expectations as far as students need to be able to explain their work. They need to model with mathematics. So there's things that are called process standards that we expect kids to be able to do. So we have the what, but then we also have the why and the how has changed.
Well, it's always about getting the answer, right? This is the way you get the answer to the problem. That was a little old school.
The answer and being right was always used to be the priority, but now I would say there's more to it than that.
Are there multiple ways to get to the same answer?
Yes,
Yeah,
and that's encouraged.
That's the challenge.
That's encouraged, yeah.
Does that make it confusing for students from time to time?
It does, and some of our teachers are finding that offering them multiple strategies can be a little bit confusing.
Right.
So narrowing that down is probably better for some kids.
Why is it important to learn all the strategies to how to solve a problem? What makes that a vital skill now versus in the past?
And a lot of parents don't want to hear this, but the expectation for math now is understanding the concept, not just being able to do the procedure, but they have to understand why they're doing what they're doing.
Sure.
And that's part of the standards as well.
So it's less abstract.
It is, yes.
And so I don't like to bring up buzzwords, but so what did Common Core do or not do for math that you like, and what did you not like from that change? That was about 2015.
That was 2015,
Yeah.
yes.
So we're 10 years into a new set of standards.
We are. So I think Common Core in a way, not Common Core standards have done this, but I think it has given us the impression that automaticity of facts is not as important, but that's not true.
Okay.
So a lot of parents will say, well, my kids don't have to learn the math facts. They don't have to do multiplication.
Right.
They do. There is a standard for that as well. So maybe it's given us the false impression that they're not as important.
Right.
But fact fluency is just as important as what it was before Common Core.
To make it easy for parents, what can they do with kids throughout the summer, absence of homework? What can they do with their child in math in general? I mean, I think it's common knowledge in reading. Read to your child, play music, talk to your child. But in math, what can a parent do?
This is very basic, but it sounds almost common sense. But in a way, have a positive attitude towards math. You would not believe the number of parents that come into parent conferences and they will say, I was never good at math.
Oh.
So I'm not surprised my child's not good at math.
Gotcha.
And the way things are taught now, parents automatically have a negative attitude because it's different.
Right.
And I understand it can be a little confusing, but just having a positive attitude is important.
Okay. Let's stop there for a second. So
Okay.
the research does say anybody can learn math, and you can learn it well.
Absolutely.
If you get shut down
Absolutely.
too early, then why are you going to try? If
Exactly.
you're labeled, it's okay.
Yes.
All right.
It's like going into something and automatically having a negative attitude.
Right. So no matter what, even if there is a struggle, encourage.
Right.
Okay.
Right. That's one thing.
Okay.
The other thing is, this is old school, but take the screens out of their hands and talk to them about math. When you're going to the grocery store, estimate, what do you think our bill's going to be?
Okay.
Just the talking of math. How did you get that answer? And if you don't know, try it. Did
Right.
it work or did it not work? And why do you think it didn't
Right.
work? But a lot of times, kids have, again, I mean, there's a time and a place
Yeah.
for computers, but take the screens out of their hands. Anytime you can play a board game.
Mm-hmm.
The number of kids that we have coming into kindergarten that are struggling to look at a set of dots and tell us that there's 3 there,
Gotcha.
because the board games have gone to the waste. Like,
Yeah,
we
they're
don't play board
computer
games
games now.
anymore.
Okay,
Yes.
all right.
So that is very, very important
So talk math, encourage
Talk math.
encourage that they can do math.
in everyday life. Everything
Okay.
you do. Yep. There's math in everything we do.
So what can teachers do? So we're going to shift a little bit. So I'm a teacher now. I'm in 3rd grade. You taught in 3rd grade. What is a teacher can do to really help the kids with math now? What would be the number 1 or number 2 strategies you would encourage a teacher to do?
I would think that, first of all, teachers need to be energetic about math, which a lot of our teachers are.
Yeah.
I also think that they need to understand that small group instruction is just as important as whole group instruction, and finding where the kids are weak.
Right.
And trying to address those sub-skill areas where the kids are struggling. There's a lot of whole group instruction that happens within
Right.
math curriculums, but they need to really understand that I need to
Right.
target where the skills are that kids are struggling with.
Do you find that when 3rd grade on up, when teachers focus in areas like math and science, and those are the 2, it is generally a better focal area than trying to teach all of them, or do you think teaching together is good as well?
I believe that ever since Common Core and the standards really changed, it is a lot to ask a teacher to understand math. 4th grade math is totally different than what it used to be,
Yeah.
and you really need to understand it in order to be able to teach it.
Right.
And so if you're a 3rd grade teacher and you're trying to teach everything, the expectation even for teachers with the understanding and the models and the
Right.
concepts, it's a struggle.
Yeah.
So I do think in a way that has been a positive, especially in Pennsylvania now that we have the 4 through 8.
Yeah.
And I think that's changing actually.
It is
maybe.
going back to K to 6, but
Is
yeah.
it? Okay.
It is, yeah.
I'm hoping that we don't lose that.
Sure.
Because teachers really need to have the understanding before you can expect to teach it.
And what are you most excited about in the future with math? So if we want schools of distinction by 2030, we're trying to refocus some of our efforts specifically in the upper elementary grades, because reading by 3rd grade is just critical. It doesn't mean math in 3rd grade and 2nd grade isn't, but what are you most excited about from 3rd grade on up in math?
I'm excited about our fluency goal
Okay.
in 5th grade. And I know that we're working on that, but defining that's going to be important. I think it's going to help teachers. Anybody that has a goal, it's easier to achieve once you know what the goal
Sure.
is. So being able to define what fluency looks like and what we want our kids to be able to pinpoint exactly
Yeah.
the marks as to what we want them to be
And
able to do.
proficiency on a test is not the goal.
Right.
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 So it's a specific skill we want them to
Yes.
accomplish. Yeah.
And fluency being efficient, accurate,
Yeah.
and flexible with numbers.
Right.
That's where we want our kids to be able to be. And I think we're going to be able to measure that.
And we want schools of distinction, so what do we need to do in our schools? What can help our schools the most become schools of distinction in math, specifically 5th grade, if we're looking at elementary? What do you think we need to do to help them? What strategies?
I think a big thing is starting with the teachers, making sure the teachers understand, again, what we talked about, understanding not just the math, but what are the important instructional strategies that they need to use with the kids, evidence-based strategies that we know
sure.
works with kids.
Sure.
There's things we like to do, but it's not saying that that's what's good for kids.
Right.
So I think
that's how we were taught in school, right?
Right. We need to build the capacity for our teachers. So I think we're headed in the right direction with that, with our content specialists. So that's a positive.
Okay. Oh, you brought up content specialists, so let's touch on that real quick. So we do have 30-some content specialists, which is an area of 4th grade math, 5th grade math. So what is their role, and how have you seen that help so far? This is the first year for that.
So the math content specialist that I'm able to communicate with pretty frequently, it's nice that they are able to give the information out to the teachers at that grade level, and they have somebody that they can come back to with
Right.
questions.
Right.
And they're very much the liaison between the teachers and the district, which
Sure.
is nice. They're getting the feedback that the teachers aren't really able to share with many people.
Oh, gotcha.
So the feedback is important as
Find
well.
out where they're stuck, where they're struggling, and someone to help them.
Yes,
Somebody
yes.
teaches math, help them, not just an administrator or a generalist.
Right, right. Who do I go to if I'm not quite sure what to do? Now they have somebody that,
Right.
if I go to this person, if they don't know, they're going to find it out for me.
And a content specialist still teaches all day. They're just there as somewhat their coach to help the rest of the math teachers.
Yes.
Good. Well, it's good to hear that. So
Yes.
as we move forward, thank you for coming. We'll circle back and continue this conversation in a couple months to see what progress we make. So
All right.
I look forward to you coming back.
Thanks.
All right.